Hello, good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Siambo. Top stories in the news tonight. AKAFUMBA-led NDC Vice President Edward MUMBI has died. Second consignment of ASTRAZENECA COVID-19 vaccines expected to arrive Monday, the 5th of July. VEEP celebrates KK in MUCHINGA province, and in international news, UN-backed Libya talks fail to reach consensus on elections. And in sports news, Patrick Vieira takes over as Crystal Palace manager.
Zambia has embarked on an economic journey for individual financial emancipation, empowering its citizens through land acquisition and developing the nation through agriculture. This time, Zambians are coming together, taking it upon themselves with the help of government to develop this great nation by taking individual responsibility and ownership of this great nation. The economic revolution has started. There are thousands of Zambians with a can-do mindset who are resolute, unstoppable, full of confidence and conviction that Zambia's set time of favor for development is now. Don't be left out. This could be the time you have been waiting for. Camnet Television, in conjunction with the United Agrivision Consultancy Limited, will be hosting a national conference on becoming a millionaire through agriculture. Date 1st October and 2nd October 2021. Charges 750 kwacha per person per day, that includes lunch. A limited number of participants through Zoom have also been reserved. You can also be part of the conference from the comfort of your home by registering online via Zoom, joining the people who were born for greatness. Charges for participation via Zoom are only 300 kwacha per person. Time 0730 hours to 17 hours. Registration and confirmation of attendance will take place on the 29th of September 2021. Time 14 hours to 17 hours. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International, the home of Camnet Television in Apex Hill, Kabulonga Road, Lusaka.
Hello once again, another news in detail. The Joseph AKAFUMBA-led National Democratic Congress Interim Vice President Edward MUMBI has died. Mr. MUMBI, who once served as Patriotic Front Secretary General, died at Maina Soko Military Hospital Sunday afternoon. Mr. MUMBI also served as Opposition United Party for National Development UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema spokesperson and resigned after the 2016 general elections. His death was confirmed by NDC Interim President Joseph AKAFUMBA. Residents living around Mahatma Gandhi Primary School in Lusaka's Mtendere compound are living in fear of contracting diseases that may come as a result of accumulated garbage in the area. A resident of the area, Bonwe Nkoma, says he is disappointed to note that none of the aspiring political leaders in the area have explained to the residents how they intend to help eliminate the garbage which has taken over the school grounds. And some residents have bemoaned the high garbage collection fees charged by the local authority, which they say most households cannot afford, but instead decide to dump the garbage at night at the school premises. We have details in the following report.
Behind me is Mahatma Gandhi School in Lusaka's Mtendere compound. The vast land you're seeing behind me belongs to the school, but unfortunately it has been turned into a dump site by the residents of this area. Some residents spoken to have raised concerns over the high price they are charged for garbage collections, which has been forcing them to dump their garbage along this place. I spoke to some of the traders near this place, and this is what they had to say.
Challenge today kwata kumulandu wakweba ti yakulipira amabini ikulu 70 bini pedo mukasango kweba tipanganda twabapo 8 but wonse 70 nomba MP adatule ikwanisha ngachakweba tiwabika ko 70 pe house kuti twakwanisha elo futi amabini ayaene abaleta amabini bengi bambi bafuma kusi bembi market so balaleta amabini abapene mukuchita chani nomba futi natukwata challenge because banopene ebo tule chitichicha balunchi nabatushupa
nyumba mayinzi tingani yabai mayinzi mama nyumba yari full manyumba te dum cheshani mayinzi angongena bava kuja mayinzi tidanda pa mabini tirago help pa mabini pa machani iya wana sasa abunje pa ground mabola Bamagama tournament mashani mabini yani ayarengeza. Iyai. Bamba ko help. Shoko clean ko mabini.
Much disappointed with these politicians despite it being campaign period. None of them are coming up with the strategies of removing these garbages. As you can see, kids play around from here and then away from the garbages. This also can be used as an opportunity of creating employment to the residents of Munai constituency. But none of them of these aspiring candidates are talking about this issue.
The land you're seeing is also used as a playing ground for kids in this area. They, however, risk contracting diseases due to the garbage that are being dumped along this place. Some of the kids we spoke to had this to say.
At
the plea of many of these children, every aspiring leader should tell these candidates what their plans are in providing a clean environment for their residents. For cleanliness is next to godliness. Prudence Tota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Government has revealed that the second consignment of the ASTRAZENECA COVID-19 vaccines are expected to arrive in the country on Monday, the 5th of July, 2021. Announcing this development to the media after touring some vaccination centers in Lusaka on Sunday, Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. Kennedy Malama says the response from members of the public is overwhelming. Meanwhile, Dr. Malama says the country has seen a reduction in COVID-19 cases in the past 1 week. In the last 24 hours, Zambia has recorded 1,795 new COVID-19 cases out of 7,531 tests, representing a 24% positivity rate. We have more in this report.
The long-awaited second batch of ASTRAZENECA coronavirus vaccines is set to arrive in the country on 5th July 2021 via Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. Announcing the development, Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary in charge of Technical Services Kennedy Malama, who was speaking during a spot check of vaccination centers in Lusaka, also says the response to vaccination has been positive so far, as all vaccination centers have witnessed large numbers. He adds that in the last 24 hours, 1,900 second-dose vaccines have been administered.
So for us as Zambia, what we've seen is a vaccine rush. Many people have now decided to be vaccinated. Zambia is a country with 18 million people. For the vaccination, we are only targeting 46% of our population because these are the people who are above 18. Tomorrow we are receiving more vaccines, 228,000 doses of ASTRAZENECA. So that is going to give more Zambians an opportunity to be vaccinated for second dose and first dose.
Dr. Malama, in a statement, also says 1,795 new cases out of 7,531 tests conducted have tested positive to the coronavirus. He, however, adds that the country has seen a reduction in cases, having recorded 15,714 new cases in comparison to 19,535 in the previous week. The Ministry of Health PS says the country is not yet out of the woods, as super spreaders such as bars and nightclubs have continued abrogating regulations. He says the ministry will see to it that all those abrogating have their licenses revoked. Meanwhile, Dr. Malama has assured the nation that government remains committed to fighting the virus. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Zambia has been administering COVID-19 vaccines for the willing members of the public for some time now. Despite this, some members of the public are still skeptical about taking the vaccine due to what they term as lack of information. Some of the residents spoken to by Camnet News in Lusaka's Mtendere compound have shown no willingness to be inoculated for fear of negative side effects. Meanwhile, Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Dr. Kennedy Malama, has assured members of the public of the vaccine's safety, adding that 90% of those dying from the coronavirus are those that have not been vaccinated. We have more in the following report.
The coming of the coronavirus vaccine in Zambia has been surrounded by various myths and misconceptions. While some have been getting vaccinated, others have opted to stay away. Those refusing to get vaccinated have cited various fears, such as negative effects to their health. The country is expected to get its second batch of ASTRAZENECA coronavirus vaccines on 5th July 2021. Speaking to Camnet News, members of the community, however, have expressed different opinions. Some have called for more sensitization on the vaccines, while others have expressed complete unwillingness to get vaccinated.
Vaccination ya coronavirus siningaenda otenga or siningatengeza chifukwa chakuti siniziva ntchito ya injection amene isebenzera nene nzofuna at least ba health babwera monga muno market mutendere market babwera batukunzisako
vaccine ingatenge ngati na full information. But the problem is that information need be managed.
In vaccine yame balasa ma government yamene balasa ne kwati palwanga singalasi because yamene naona paye banambiro after balasa ma vaccine yame balasa ndiye pamene matenda achitamunga yapakirako maningi.
Hii vaccine stifuna no ifuna na kuimvera stifuna kuimvera.
Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary in charge of Technical Services, Kennedy Malama, however, has re-emphasized that the vaccine is optional.
When you talk of myths, you know most of the myths are actually lies, and people hide in good terminologies, myths and misconceptions. Looking at the people we are losing from COVID, it is true that maybe 99.999% were never vaccinated. So we are saying that people who are vaccinated, those who may get COVID, are not getting very severe disease or dying from it.
Zambia, along with the rest of the world, is battling the coronavirus pandemic. Zipora Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Monzia Town Council has intensified efforts to curb the spread of COVID-19 in view of the surge in positive cases being recorded in the district. Southern Province, particularly Monzia, has seen record high numbers, with the recent being the 28th of June, where it recorded the highest in the province. Council Public Relations Officer Kanchele notes that the Department of Health has carried out disinfection activities in all markets and bus stations in the district, as well as reducing the presence of street vendors in the township. Mr. Kanchele has, to this effect, also called on stakeholders to support the effort being put up by the local authority.
We have been carrying out implementations of COVID-19 measures. So far, what we have done is that we are disinfecting public places. In doing so, we have disinfected the markets. Almost all the markets in the district have been disinfected, and we have also removed street vendors from the CBD who were trading along the Livingstone Road. This is to ensure that people who are trading, as well as the buyers, have got facilities which they can use for sanitation purposes. Further, we are also calling on the public to ensure that they follow the 5 golden rules of preventing COVID-19. This includes not making unnecessary.
The announcement by government that schools shall remain closed until further notice has sparked debate among members of the public, and generally the parents who feel the decision is not right, while others are okaying the development. Some parents spoken to in Lusaka have aired different opinions on schools not to open, as announced by the Ministry of Information Permanent Secretary in Lusaka yesterday. In light of the ravaging coronavirus pandemic, the government guided that schools should remain closed to undergo detailed monitoring and determine the readiness of institutions to open. We have details in the following report.
With the country struggling to swing back to normalcy, a fresh hike of COVID-19 cases in many parts of the country continue to surge. Government Saturday gave a direction on the closure of schools due to COVID-19.
Until then, primary, pre and secondary schools will remain closed, while institutions of higher learning will continue to offer only online classes.
The question that begs for answers is how parents and guardians are taking this directive by government. Camnet TV spoke to some parents in Lusaka's Mutendere compound on this matter.
Vambiri vantu vadwala vambiri vafa so futi chipasisa wari tizo mamenti ngatandizike na vana vatu ndava mukomboni vaonongeka as a result ngati magirls mzapeza ma results ya mavumo yazaenda pasi izakula namba ya mamimba then ava vanyamata manje vazambokunga kumwa majunta na kupepa chena kwavo otherwise but vana venzofunika chape kumaskulu manje futi nichodandaulisa ndafuti kumaskulu disease ya corona yaenda kusogolo
vafana vasakhala disturbed because every time kwakhala kuli chani kuli corona icha time amene nzofunika tibatse bwanji vachiseconcentrate kuma studies vankhala mukomboni now pauti vakachise cover ya madezi amene ankhala mukomboni uli vasegula sometimes vasegula chepe kapena ni 2-3 days futi atiwo kwakhala problem ya enough. If monga my parents say, okay, we are not just okay,
mostly which can affect our children. It's either how they can be doing this compound. Normally, last time we were hearing about it, that most of the children who have stopped to go to school, they are busy going to shopping mall, loyalty things. Now, if this program is prolonged, then things will be worse.
While others agree to the directive, some parents feel it is not the right thing to do.
My examination classes better that way than so because we don't know when manage.
The dates of opening schools remain unknown until further notice, and all is entirely dependent on the positive outcome of the assessment, and that will be conducted by government and its stakeholders and how the virus evolves. Alex Chimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Some traders in Solwezi district have bemoaned the high cost of living, which they say has negatively affected their businesses. Zebron Kafutika, a trader at Kiawama Market, has told Camnet News that businesses have collapsed due to the reduced number of customers visiting the market to buy their products. Mr. Kafutika notes that previously he used to sell goods at a faster pace whenever he brought them to Solwezi Market, but that business has become slow owing to the poor economic performance. Meanwhile, in a check at some businesses in the district, has indicated that traders and some residents are not adhering to the COVID-19 preventive guidelines. We have details in the following report.
Solwezi district is best known as a town of copper due to the rich mining activities that take place in the district. While COVID-19 has touched every corner of the country, Solwezi district has not been spared, and its effects are now being felt by small businesses. A check by Camnet News at some market in the district has observed that compliance levels are low, as both traders and residents were observed not social distancing as well as masking up. And some business owners spoken to have bemoaned the high cost of living, which they say has affected their businesses, and wants government to devise a plan on how to empower them with some capital. Things have become hard. There is no money. COVID-19 has brought harm. People are not moving around, so we are unable to sell. And government should help us with some capital so we can look after our children.
Life has become so hard. We are failing to order goods. Due to lack of resources, our children cannot go to school. We want the government to look into the issue of giving us some capital.
Others have complained of being left behind and claim that perhaps changing the government will resolve some of their challenges.
COVID-19 has really affected our business. We have no resources and we are unable to take our children to school. Maybe we try and change the government.
Business is not doing well. We are unable to sell because people are not moving due to COVID-19. As you can see, some market shelters are empty. We don't know what to do. With COVID-19 here to stay, small businesses have to devise plans on how they will survive, while our leaders look for alternative ways of stabilizing the economy so as to save the collapsing businesses. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Zambia Police Service in Mazabuka, Southern Province, has arrested and charged 2 women for offences of obscene matters or things contrary to Section 59, Cap 1 and Cap A of the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act of 2021. This is in respect of the video circulating on social media platforms, which shows 2 females and a male in a swimming pool while naked. An incident which occurred on the 27th of June 2021 at around 14:30 hours at a named lodge in Magoye area. The 2 women, both of Mazabuka district, have been identified as Euphemia Moya, aged 22, and Mary Sakala, aged 24. Meanwhile, police are looking for the person who was filming the video, only identified as Kefas, and the male person who was captured naked in the swimming pool, identified as Mulenga Chama. This is according to a statement issued by Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale.
Police in Mazabuka have arrested and charged the 2 females in respect of the video circulating on social media platforms, which depicted 2 female persons and a male swimming in a swimming pool whilst naked. The 2 women, both of Mazabuka district, have been identified as Euphemia Moya, aged 22, of Ndeke compound, and Mary Sakala, aged 24, of Nakambala compound. Police are looking for the person who was filming and later published the video, only identified as Kefas, and the male person who was captured naked in the swimming pool, identified as Mulenga Chama. The incident occurred on June 27, 2021, at around 14:30 hours at a named lodge in Magoye area. The 2 women are currently detained in police custody with the offense of obscene matters or things contrary to Section 59 of the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act of 2021.
You're watching Camnet TV Main News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news.
Good day to you, dear esteemed customers. As Zamtel, we're glad to bring something of excitement to you, and it's a promotion we've dubbed Yatu, which simply means it's yours. And in this promotion, we're giving benefits that are tailored to you specifically as a customer, depending on the profile or the segment that you're sitting on as a customer. And in this promotion, we are saying you will get from as low as 13 benefits amounting to over 500%. And it's all for you so that you get more benefits. So to know more about Yatu, stay on.
Yatu is a promotion that offers Zamtel customers amazing benefits that are made just for you. Zamtel customers will get amazing benefits of over 500% bonus back the value that they use when they subscribe to a Yatu offer. Yatu benefits will be usable for Zamtel to Zamtel calls, Zamtel to Zamtel SMSs, and browsing on pay-as-you-go defined rates. For you to access the amazing Yatu offers, all you have to do is dial *335# and select option 1 to purchase the offer that best suits you. Zamtel customers will have the ability to actually purchase the Yatu benefit more than once. So this means you can purchase the offer twice, you can purchase the offer 3 times, and the benefits will be accumulative at the end of the day. Yatu benefits will be able to be redeemed if you subscribe to the same offer within a 5-day period. So if you have unused benefits from the previous day and the expiry date comes, you can still subscribe to the same offer within 5 days and your benefits will be able to accumulate. How amazing is that? For you to check your Yatu benefit balance, all you have to do is dial *335# and select option 2 and you'll be able to see your current balance.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
At Master Signs, our services range from outdoor, indoor signage such as billboards, banners, 3D light boxes, pylons and neon signs. We are located at plot number 397A, Makeni Road, Lusaka, at Oryx Filling Station. For more details, call us on +260 967 100 090 or +260 966 999 981, or better still, email us at infomastersign@gmail.com. Master Sign, we will make it shine.
Chagwa Lungu and the Patriotic Front have transformed the transportation sector by facilitating the construction of bus stations around the country. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. Governance, Elections, Advocacy, Research Services, GEAR's Executive Director McDonald Chipenzi has called on politicians in the country to guard the country's democratic image jealously. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Chipenzi says politics of name-calling is detrimental to the country's democracy, especially on the international front. He says politicians should focus on selling their party manifestos to the electorates and how they intend to alleviate the sufferings being experienced by the Zambian people.
The issue of politicians mudslinging each other, calling each other names, dragging each other in mud is not the correct thing. campaign must be issue-based, because there are issues that will resolve the problems of facing Zambia. I think what we are supposed to be quarreling are ideas of how do we resolve the issues of Zambia. How do we resolve the current malaise, economic, social, political, and so on and so forth, and cultural issues. I think that's what we need to deal with. It is very sad that the politicians now want to use tribalism, regionalism. Then after the elections, they go there and say, no, I apologize. I think those fake apologies, those are cosmetic apologies. We don't need those things. We want to see politicians argue, want to see who is intelligent for us to vote for, and not somebody who speaks what language and how he speaks that language. I think that's not and where they speak that language, that is not our issue. Further,
Charisma Ministries International Overseer Prophet Ian Genesis has advised the church to take responsibility during the election period where many people have been hacked while others have been killed in a Christian nation. Prophet Genesis says leaders are chosen by the Lord, and that whoever the Lord has chosen, people must pray and have the spirit of discernment so that they can hear God's voice. Prophet Genesis also says a prayerful Christian can never be an architect of violence, and that those that believe in the power of God cannot incite any form of violence. He says it is disturbing to hear of people being hacked and political banners being dropped down.
What makes the public to fight most of the time is distorted information. But we are praying that as a nation we will have the correct information and the right time to seek the face of God. Indeed, this election is a very, very difficult election, I must say, because it is an election in the history of Zambia that we have seen the highest rate of violence. It is also an election that we have seen that there is all sorts of uprising. So we are also appealing as the church to members of political parties, leaders, to show example that this is a Christian nation and they believe in God. It's very unfortunate when leaders who are politicians are not going out, flight out, and say it is only God that can choose a leader for this nation. So wherever you are in the nation of Zambia, it is my prayer that you choose a leader out of the altar of prayer. Whichever leader that you will choose, let God use you to choose that leader.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, in Kasempa district has called for a fair application of the law by the Zambia police as political parties conduct campaigns in the district. UPND Kasempa District Vice Constituency Secretary Bernard Zulani says the police are aware that Kasempa is a free and non-violence constituency, hence the need to allow all political parties campaign freely without segregation. He says his party will continue with their campaign whilst observing COVID-19 guidelines. And UPND sympathizer Webi Masikini says the people of Kasempa district are not happy with the hunger situation in the district and wants change come August 2021.
From meeting a few people in the villages, that's a wrong way of doing it. Because our friends in PF, they are making those mistakes, but they are being accepted. So we are going to carry out our meeting a few people in the villages, but without violence. Of course, observing the COVID regulations. So we are going to do that. Please, the police have to understand that in Kasempa, please don't even follow us. Unless you need to provoke us. If you provoke us, we will react. So leave us, we know what we are doing, we are quite aged.
Uno mwaka tuwe na kukeba tukukingia. Uno mwaka chafikira kimye kya kukingia. Mambo twayanda pabaya. Ne abo tuwapefu bayanjira kuma mino satu yanda tukeba poteni tumakatu wabene. Chocho tuwe kwa manamba ineba kwetu kupota ne.
Vice President Inonge Wina has described Dr. Kenneth Kaunda as a leader who inspired many with his style of leadership premised on love, unity and patriotism. Speaking when she officiated at the state funeral procession for Dr. Kaunda at Luwa Mission in Chinsali district of Muchinga province Sunday, Mrs. Wina says Dr. Kaunda left a good legacy for the people of Muchinga province. She says Dr. Kaunda embarked on developmental projects in a number of key sectors that improved people's livelihoods in Muchinga, such as the Tanzania-Zambia Railway Authority, TAZARA, at a cost of $500 million United States dollars. And speaking on behalf of the traditional leader in Muchinga province, Chief Lundu says the traditional leaders are saddened by the loss of Zambia's founding father. Meanwhile, United Church of Zambia UCZ Muchinga Presbytery Bishop Reverend Festus Chulu urged the people of Zambia to emulate the life of Dr. Kaunda. The church service in Muchinga province was attended by Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU National Coordinator Chanda Kawe, among other officials. The Buy Zambia Campaign Executive Director Evans Ngoma says the country's first president, Kenneth Kaunda, will be remembered for his legacy of promoting local Zambian products. Speaking to Camnet, Mr. Ngoma says Dr. Kaunda ensured that the country was self-sustaining in almost all sectors of the economy. He has since advised those in authority to ensure that some old industries like the nitrogen chemicals are revived as a way to honor the founding father. We have more in this report.
The Buy Zambia campaign has joined various sectors celebrating the life of Zambia's founding father, Kenneth Kaunda, who recently passed on. Organization Executive Director Evans Ngoma says that Dr. Kaunda's life should be celebrated by promoting Zambian products, as he ensured that almost all sectors of the country's economy were locally sustained. Mr. Ngoma has cited sectors such as transport, copper, and the cotton industry.
He set up nitrogen chemicals down in Kafue here that made sure that it gave the fertilizer, which is a precursor when we come into farming. And he also ensured that areas of value addition were center stage. You know, he did make sure that each province had an industrial activity.
He further says the country is more than capable of being self-sustaining with formulation of the right policies.
You're talking of Indeco group of companies, Mansa Batteries. You remember Godfrey Yuka Chitalu brand of batteries that was produced in Mansa. All those were initiatives by Dr. Kaunda together with his men and women. Very, very humble. Today, I think we have got a lot of people having these prestigious qualifications. Can we begin to emulate what Dr. Kaunda did?
Dr. Kaunda is being honored and celebrated by various bodies, both local and international. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Acting Provincial Livestock Production Officer for Northwestern Province in the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, Bona Zulu, has challenged farmers in the province to grow more forage and take livestock production as a serious business. Mr. Zulu added that growing forage and pasture for livestock will definitely enhance the nutrition of animals and improve livestock production in the province. He was speaking during a forage demonstration and field day held in Solwezi district recently. And one of the farmers, Modi Mutesa, who attended the field day, thanked government through the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock for the support through the knowledge and skills in pasture production and fodder conservation and storage. This field day was held under the theme Sustainable Forage Production and Utilization. We have details in the following report.
Livestock production remains government commitment in promoting agriculture diversification, and improved livestock production depends on good nutrition to the animals. No wonder the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock have organized a forage demonstration and field day held in Solwezi under the new normal COVID-19 health guidelines. Bona Zulu is acting Provincial Livestock Production Officer for Northwestern Province.
What is key to note is that all these forage production ultimately culminates into utilization. And also we just took this opportunity just to emphasize to the farmers to say, if farmers are really to make profit from livestock production, nutrition is a very key component. Because currently what is happening, one of the major challenges that we've observed that our farmers in Northwestern face is nutritional challenges. Most of them haven't really grasped the concept of growing forages, of growing pastures. And so today was just one of those days we were demonstrating and on how these forages can be grown and ultimately how they can be utilized.
Farmers are motivated with the knowledge acquired.
What I've learned at this field day is I don't have to keep an animal and feed it during the rainy season, and in the hot season I leave it to fend for itself. I must keep feeding it until the next rain season comes.
Other officers from the ministry were at hand to offer more information in marketing and pasture management.
They are into farming, so farming is a business. So whatever they are keeping, it shouldn't just end on consumption. They consume, and that's it. It should go beyond consumption in terms of seeing to it that they apply the entire value chain.
We did a few pastures just around here so that we may be able to demonstrate and show farmers, even as we are talking to them about pastures, and also the conservation, how they may be able to conserve the pasture after growing it, and other supplements that they may be able to use, such as maize stovers, the rice straws, and other farm residues.
Few days play a critical role in farmers' life through exchanging new farming technologies to improve their livestock production. This field day was held under the theme Sustainable Forage Production and Utilization. Krivach Tuta reporting in Sorwes District, Northwestern Province.
You're watching Camnet TV News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
I was born in Mwengwa in a grass-thatched house. I went to school barefoot and then to secondary school. University came, all of these on government bursary, on the sponsorship of the people of Zambia. Many people ask me questions. Why have you continued to seek public office? You've been arrested 15 times. This fight is not about Hakainde. It's about 18 million Zambians who want a better life. I'm standing for the presidency of this country because I know and I believe that this country is so rich and yet its people live in poverty. I am standing for that child to have an opportunity to go to school the way I did myself. It's time for change. Zambians have suffered enough. I'm Hakainde H. Lema. I invite you to take my hand. Together, we will build a better land for every Zambian.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Every day for me means hard work. Going to sell my goods at the local market. To get more customers, I have my secret. Oracle Pure Glycerin. It's soft, smooth, and keeps my skin perfect. And my customers know it. Thank you, Oracle, for my perfect skin.
Harry Mwanga Nkumbula International Airport, located just 15 kilometers from the Victoria Falls, is now one of the best and busiest airports that Zambia has. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
Zambia has embarked on an economic journey for individual financial emancipation, empowering its citizens through land acquisition and developing the nation through agriculture. This time, Zambians are coming together, taking it upon themselves with the help of government to develop this great nation by taking individual responsibility and ownership of this great nation. The economic revolution has started. There are thousands of Zambians with a can-do mindset who are resolute, unstoppable, full of confidence and conviction that Zambia's set time of favor for development is now. Don't be left out. This could be the time you have been waiting for. Camnet Television, in conjunction with the United Agrivision Consultancy Limited, will be hosting a national conference on becoming a millionaire through agriculture. Date 1st October and 2nd October 2021. Charges 750 kwacha per person per day, that includes lunch. A limited number of participants through Zoom have also been reserved. You can also be part of the conference from the comfort of your home by registering online via Zoom, joining the people who were born for greatness. Charges for participation via Zoom are only 300 kwacha per person. Time 0730 hours to 17 hours. Registration and confirmation of attendance will take place on the 29th of September 2021. Time 14 hours to 17 hours. Venue the Healing Word Ministries International, the home of Camnet Television in Apex Hill, Kabulonga Road, Lusaka.
Welcome back. We now look at international news. In international news, ending conflict in Libya appears further out of reach after delegates failed to agree on a plan to hold elections in December. Members of the Libyan Political Dialogue Forum ended much-anticipated talks in Geneva with no official way forward. Meanwhile, Al Jazeera also reports that Ethiopia's federal government says it's withdrawn from the Tigray region to focus on threats to its Grand Renaissance Dam. The second filling of the project dam is due to be completed this month, but talks to reach an agreement with Sudan and Egypt have failed to produce results. At their request, the issue will be discussed next week at the urgent session of the United Nations Security Council. Ethiopia is also locked in a border dispute with Sudan, which has added to the tensions in the region.
After nearly a week of talks and negotiations in Geneva, those taking part in the Libyan Political Dialogue Forum have failed to come to an agreement on a constitutional basis to hold elections in December. It is seen by many as yet another roadblock to bringing stability to a country ravaged by conflict for more than a decade.
It is regrettable that, despite all the opportunities over a total of 5 days, there is still no common ground. The people of Libya will certainly feel let down as they still aspire to the opportunity to exercise their democratic rights in a presidential and parliamentary election on 24 December.
The Libyan Political Dialogue Forum, or LPDF, is a 75-member body created by the UN Support Mission. It voted in the interim unity government in February, which was seen as a breakthrough. The interim government, led by Prime Minister Abdelhamid Dbeibeh, is leading the country until elections can be held in December. But with talks failing in Geneva, some say it may mean the elections will be delayed, threatening chances of uniting the country.
Yes, the elections may be postponed for months or until all sides reach a fair and rational consensus to hold elections, but the opportunity is still there and time is still available.
Fethi Bashagha, the former Minister of Interior and a candidate running for president, says there are those within the talks who don't want elections to happen.
The Libyan people are waiting. The Libyan people are in a very bad situation from the lack of basic services. And the only way to get out of this crisis is to have one government that is chosen by the Libyan people. What we saw in Geneva is members looking for their own personal interest rather than the interest of the country.
It's been a long and challenging road for the UN support mission to get this far. building local and international consensus on Libya has been difficult. A ministerial conference in Berlin last month affirmed international consensus on Libya to hold elections in December. But it's Libyans themselves that have to agree on a framework to do that. In a statement earlier on Saturday, the support mission said it encourages LPDF members to consult among themselves and pursue a workable compromise and cement what unites them so that elections can be held as scheduled.
When rebels seized the Tigrayan capital this week, the Ethiopian government said that was because it had withdrawn its forces. It says it needs them to focus on other threats to the country.
The goal of declaring a ceasefire in the Tigray region is to neutralize the danger of the Tigray People's Liberation Front and to withdraw military equipment from there because the region does not currently pose a threat to the country. The exit of the army from Tigray is one of the steps to address the external threats to the Renaissance Dam and fill other gaps.
The Renaissance Dam is built on the Blue Nile, source of 80% of the Nile's waters. It's set to become Africa's largest hydroelectric dam upon completion. Ethiopia says it'll help lift millions of its people out of poverty, but talks to reach an agreement with downstream countries Sudan and Egypt over the dam's filling and operation have repeatedly failed. Joint military drills between Sudan and Egypt, dubbed the Guardians of the Nile, have raised concerns. Egypt is worried about the amount of water it will get when the dam is filled. And Sudan says it's concerned about the impact the dam will have on its own dams, especially one named Roseris, which lies 100 kilometers away from the GERD.
Roseris Dam has the capacity of 7 billion cubic meters, and the Renaissance Dam has the capacity of 74 billion cubic meters. You can't operate the two dams without an information sharing agreement that is legally binding, which we need to guarantee the safety and operation of our dams to ensure farmers can plant crops.
It's not the only security issue Ethiopia has been facing in the region. Since November, it's been locked in a border conflict with Sudan over El Fashaga, a 3,000 square kilometer agricultural area claimed by both sides. A colonial-era agreement puts El Fashaga as part of Sudan, but Ethiopian farmers say it belongs to them and they've been farming on it for nearly 50 years. Talks to end the border conflict between Sudan and Ethiopia have stalled since December. Sudan says it wants Ethiopia to abide by the 1902 boundaries and increase the number of markers along the border. Ethiopia says it wants Sudanese troops to withdraw from El Fashaga for any sorts of negotiations to resume, a condition rejected by Sudan. The border conflict has cost lives on both sides. Some analysts say a full confrontation is not completely off the table.
With all of the tensions across the Sudan-Ethiopian border, these include the negotiations over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, the conflict over Al Fashaga farmland, as well as some tension over areas further south along the border. Sudan and Ethiopia have had a rocky set of relations in recent months. So, the way the Sudan reacts is unclear as yet.
Tigrayan rebels have rejected the ceasefire announced by the Ethiopian government after taking over the northern region from the federal forces. And whether its troops were pushed out of Tigray or left on their own, there's no denying that there are unresolved issues that Ethiopia's troops may need to focus on.
I'm here to support the President Zuma as a result of he has been abused too much for a very long time in this country. Since 2005, Mr. Zuma has been abused by his own people, by his own colleagues that they fought for this freedom. So now we are tired of people who abuse the constitution and the law of this country. Law is the people. If law is not the people, they must go and read it to animals and go to the zoo and read all those ruling to the animals. So therefore we are here to prove that there is no law without people. We are here to prove that our father have fought for the freedom. Is now for us to fight for economical freedom instead of focusing to the virus that is affecting our people. Then our leaders are taking a very stupid decision by arresting the old men that they know exactly that here, especially in here in KZN, you can never play with the leader, with anyone here, and expect us to be quiet. We are fearless. We don't fear to die. we don't fear to die, because if we die now, our kids will rise again and fight for what we have been standing for. So therefore, we are saying to the whole nation that you can see how many thousands and thousands of people that are gathering here today to respect the men who have fought for our freedom.
It's now time for sports news. In sports news, Crystal Palace have appointed Patrick Vieira to succeed Roy Hodgson as the Premier League club's manager. The former Arsenal captain emerged as Palace's preferred candidate after a lengthy process since Hodgson announced he was leaving the club on the 18th of May. The 45-year-old Frenchman has signed a 3-year contract with the Eagles, who finished 14th last season. Vieira was sacked by French club Nice in December. Previously, he had spent 2.5 years in charge of Major League Soccer side New York City after beginning his coaching career in the academy at Manchester City, where he ended his stellar playing career in 2011. He secured 2 playoff appearances at New York City and achieved 7th and 5th placed finishes during his 2 full seasons at Nice. Former Borussia Dortmund boss Lucien Favre held talks with Roy, but pulled out of the running to succeed the 73-year-old Hodgson, whose contract ended in the summer after 4 years in charge. Parrish said he was delighted with the appointment following Vieira's successfully learning his trade at the City Group and experiencing positive managerial spells at New York City and then Nice, who he led to the Europa League. Former France midfielder Vieira claimed 7 major honours in 9 years as a player at Arsenal between 1996 and 2005. A World Cup and European Championship winner with France, he also helped Inter Milan to 3 Serie A titles. That story brings us to the end of the news, but we take a look at the stories making headlines once more. AKAFUMBA-led NDC Vice President Edward Mumbi has died. Second consignment of ASTRAZENECA COVID-19 vaccines expected to arrive on Monday, the 5th of July. VEEP celebrates KK in Muchinga province. And in international news, UN-backed Libya talks failed to reach consensus on elections. And in sports news, Patrick Vieira takes over as Crystal Palace manager. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, and it's coming from Galatians 5, verse 13 to 14, and it reads, "For you were called to be free, brothers. Only don't use this freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but serve one another through love. For the entire law is fulfilled in one statement, love your neighbor as yourself." My name is Jeffrey Ziambo, and thanks for watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Bye-bye.